Oh man, not another day like last Tuesday.
The big news.
News? What news?
Sorry.
What?
All right, but this is beyond news. This is like Pearl Harbor or the Kennedy assassination. It's like not even news, it's total shock.
Oh, come on, Jerry, please, 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 please.
Sunny Digital. Got the club going up on the Tuesday.
Hello and welcome to this March 12th Tuesday News Day. Once again, we will have two articles. This is the first of them, and our learning goal is to determine two or more central ideas of a text and analyze their development over the course of that text, including how they interact and build on one another. Most importantly, we are deciding what is the central idea. This scale should look familiar. A 4 means that you can identify the central idea, the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point, and how the ideas build on one another. A 3 means that you can identify the central idea or ideas and the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point. A 2 means that you can identify the central idea, but you're missing some of that evidence. And a 1 means that you are unsure of how to find the central idea. In order to receive 1.5 units for today's class, you must highlight or underline the main idea, circle the evidence that the author uses to support his or her point, and box any other central ideas in the text. The 4 skills, which are the same 4 skills that we work almost weekly on, are number 1, to identify the topic. Remember that the topic and the main idea are separate, but the topic gives you an indication of what that main idea might be. We want to be able to summarize the story in about 10 to 12 words. If you can do that, you're starting to get to that main idea. And typically, the author introduces the story, or the main idea, in the first sentence of the story, and then recaps it in the last sentence. So we want to write those down as well. And then any other repeated ideas or quotations or things that show up a lot in the story generally are meaningful. So we'll see that a lot. As an indication of what the main idea is. Today's story is titled The New Rules of Communicating in the Digital Era. It was written on the 7th, so not that long ago. And it begins with paragraph number 1. Connecting with people has become so much easier with advancing technology. Tasks that once required an operator, postage stamp, or carrier pigeon are now as simple as tapping a name or even a face on your screen, and voila, you're connected. Paragraph number 2, I'm going to pause here though and tell you that voila is a vocab word. Continuing with paragraph 2. But also easier is unwittingly getting caught up in a major disconnect by violating a tangle of new rules for communicating. Big one for some, don't call until you've texted to confirm it's okay to call. But that's just the beginning. Paragraph 3. I'm usually pretty chill and not much bothers me, says Mark Angelo, a 29-year-old office manager from White Plains, New York. But the one thing that really gets under his skin, that he hates more than anything else in life, is the horrendous one-word message, K. At the very least, a reply with, got it, Angelo says. At least give me the courtesy of a few words here. You're not that busy. Roman Bruce, a 29-year-old DJ from the Bronx, said his personal list of digital interaction rules runs long. Don't text me and say, hey, did you get my last text? You know that I got it, Bruce said. I get kind of annoyed when people text someone and then they respond by calling me, and I hate when people FaceTime me out of nowhere. Like, don't do that. There are hundreds, perhaps even thousands, of others who have taken on social media to express their detest for people who don't follow the unwritten ground rules of digital communication. Twitter user @Zelvel writes, "It's an unsaid rule in texting. If you weren't the last person to send a text before you fell asleep, you should be the first one to send one in the morning. Doesn't everyone know that unsaid rule? You have to send at least 3 texts pretending to be friendly before you can ask for a favor," writes Twitter user @tforus. Twitter user Casmori writes, "Okay, number 1 rule, if I unadd you on anything, do not ask me why on something else, especially if I don't know you." Other examples include don't leave a message after the beep, don't send too many texts in a row, and don't just start a conversation with "hey." If you decline incoming phone calls, just text a caller, "What's up?" Then you, too, have adopted some informal protocols. Have you ever wondered why those seemingly innate communication subtleties come from? These rules are simply a manifestation of a phenomenon we've seen in the past, said James Ivory, professor of communication at Virginia Tech. Ivory said that the same way that generations and small groups of friends have their own slang and customs, internet culture has given birth to technology-dependent beings who have their own unique set of correspondence rituals. So, not everyone gets the memo. Unlike formal language, which can be taught with practice using an online subscription to Rosetta Stone, digital communication can be laced with cryptic. Cryptic is a vocab word. Clues that the person on the other end of the call, text, or email may or may not easily understand. As soon as people aren't talking face-to-face, the first thing that gets lost is some of the richness of nonverbal communication, Ivory said. People immediately fill that gap by trying to approximate it, either by using emoji, adopting informal etiquette is a vocab word, or sending GIFs, those animated images that sum up a sentiment in seconds. Etiquette and lifestyle expert Elaine Swan said that it's perfectly natural for social manners to change as formats for chatter evolve. We used to pick up the phone and say Happy Birthday, Happy New Year's, and Merry Christmas to each other. Nowadays, it's appropriate and in good form to send those via text. The founder of a nationwide etiquette training institute said, "We are evolving with the way we communicate using electronic devices. The guidelines of etiquette must evolve as well." Ivory said that the only way to adopt the techno-talk rules is to fully immerse yourself in the culture. There are inherent drawbacks over adopting chillaxed methods of communication. There's great potential for danger, Ivory said. What's considered polite in one form might be inappropriate or rude in another scenario. Still, some communication rules should stand the test of time, Swan said. If I call you and you cannot talk at the moment, please don't answer your phone. Don't cut me off mid-sentence to tell me you are busy, Swan said. First of all, it's rude to answer your phone in the presence of the folks you are with. Second of all, you are inconsiderate of my time. So here we are at the worksheet. I think identifying the topic would be new rules for communicating in the digital age. This taken almost directly from the title, but I think it fits. Flip that to red. Summarizing the story. The rules for communicating have changed. Semicolon, so we don't have a period. There are a new set of unwritten rules that go along with the use of smartphones. Make that red. Here, of course, we want to pull the first and last sentence. I'm going to go get those and I will print them. So I'm going to make this red. I don't know if there was some mistake there, some sort of foofara, something that happened there. But anyway, we're back. So the first sentence, connecting with people has become so much easier with advancing technology. And the last sentence, second of all, you are inconsiderate of my time. I think we are definitely seeing more value in the first sentence than the last one. Repeated ideas. Most important is a vocab word. Etiquette. Let's see how I can do with spelling. Hey, I spelled it right. The etiquette of communicating in the digital age is a common repeated idea throughout. The idea that there are unwritten rules, of which are listed there from different quotes, like don't just respond with K, or don't leave a message after the beep. No, or ask if I got your last text. Those things were sort of the repeated ideas. And honestly, I thought this quote showed an interesting repeated idea as well, that these rules are simply a new manifestation of a phenomenon we've seen in the past. So these unwritten rules are just this generation's expectations. These rules have changed periodically with different advancing technology throughout history. This leaves us with the main idea of the article. I don't want to give that away like I never do. I want you to be able to use the things that we've written down and read here to come up with your own sentence to answer what the main idea of the article is. Now, I had a bunch of people ask me last week why I ended the video with bye, and they thought I was weird. So instead, I'll just end with ciao for now.